Alright, hello and welcome. So in this video I'm going to be going over the locations that are popular and for what reason they are popular. These are locations like the first one we will be talking about, which is Draco on CERES. So this is an end game mission, as it is one of the last two planets you unlock, but is fairly easily the most popular mission for farming for experience, because done as well as you possibly could. You can take items from 0 to 30 in one run very quickly. It's just you do it and you're out. This is a mission you'll see people forming parties for to accomplish doing this very quickly, and it's also actually the reason that Mesa was changed to be more active, because she could just sit in the middle of the map and instant kill everyone, and made it being too efficient a problem. And that is what Draco is. This is a great place for just farming experience, arguably the best. Aroken cells, also a resource that you will need if you are planning on building any primes whatsoever, and many other items for that matter. Doing Draco is very effective. You get lots of things that you will need. The problem is that it is at the end of the Starchart, and that you'll usually need to be bringing at least one good weapon and a halfway decent frame in order to be able to contribute in any real way to the party, which don't be a leech. Please don't do that. That's real bad, and it makes people stop running the mission, and we have very few popular nodes out of the 250 nodes that we have. So, don't be bad. But I have some options for those of you that are maybe a lower level, don't like interception, things like that. So, for those of you that don't like interception, want to get experience in a timely manner, but don't really want to rely on a party either, or have people get mad at you for some reason because you didn't bring the super range Necros #1, SEDNA, Kappa, is a very good, still pretty popular area that I actually prefer to level things on. Once you have some experience, or have a good maxed out frame that is good at defense or control, running this by yourself is not even hard, and having extra people with you will just give you more enemies and more people to play with, and it is very good for those reasons. The downside to Kappa is that you're not getting any rare resources here. It's a lot of just general resources, which can also be a plus, but this does take more runs to complete. For those of you that like mobile defense, though, this is a really good mobile defense map that will always have 3 targets, and that's a huge bonus. It's my preferred farming mission. It's the old meta farming mission, kind of like before corrupted mods. It really felt like this was the mission everyone was going to level things, and it's still very good. And there was a time where it was taken over by Corpus, and it made it farming as mag real good. Currently it is Grenier though. So that's kind of the mid-game tier farming area where you don't really have to worry about anything. It's very laid back. Once you've got some experience under your belt, you can just level some items. So for those of you that are just beginning, we have this mission on Mercury, Apollodorus. This is a very popular mission, not only because new players are just generally always here, they will always be around, but if you're an experienced player, you can come help newer players and also get some experience. And if you like survival, I would say that this is probably the one that you would want to do, just for some general experience and meeting people if you're more social. Also for beginners, a lot of the mods in the pool here and a lot of the mods that are dropped from enemies are very good for you, so you're gonna need to do some killing and get some rewards. This is a great place to do that. On my free-to-play account, I've probably run probably 4.5 hours of Apollodorus, just trying to get some mods that I needed in the early game, and it's just a great, it's very relaxed. It's a very easy mission for quite some time. It's pretty much no problem to go 20 minutes plus, especially if you've got someone that is experienced with you. And meeting the newer players here is very effective for kind of getting into the community and maybe taking those people and going to some other missions that you need to complete on the Starchart to get to some other things, if you are not totally confident in your skill set yet. Mercury is, or Apollodorus rather, is a very good mission in the early game for you newer players. So now we're going to get into some more specifically good areas. And the first one we're going to talk about is on Pluto, and that is, where is that? It's around the back. That's Oceanum. That's the next one. CERES. So CERES is an interception mission. It is a large map, and we get lots of Oxium Osprey here, which means it is fantastic for Oxium. If you bring a Necros to this mission, you can get as high as 2,000 in 4 waves. That is a lot of Oxium. Usually, though, without a Necros, you're going to be getting somewhere in the margin of like 800 to 1,000 Oxium, which is still a very significant margin. You can usually find players here getting Oxium, but it is much more prevalent whenever they release an item like, say, the Nux that require a large amount of Oxium. I think it's the Nux. It might have been a different weapon that I'm thinking of. But anyway, an item that requires a large amount of Oxium. Then there will be a lot more people here getting all the Oxium that they need. It's very easy to farm. Just be able to hold a point if you want to come here to farm. It's plain and simple. Kill a lot of Oxium Osprey. And that's what it is good for. Oxium is a thing that is weird to farm, but this is the place to do it. So this is also another, over here, Oceanum, is a solo leveling place. If you want to level things just by yourself and you're more of like an on your own kind of player and you don't really want a group, I find that the Oceanum Spy is very good just for going solo and like getting some levels. As if you're doing it for weapons, if you have Loki, you can just like go invisible, zip in there real quick, hack the things. For undetected ones, you get a large amount of experience for doing spy vaults, like without setting off alarms and stuff. So it can be very good for getting like the first bunch of levels on a weapon and then throwing some mods into it, and it can get you kind of set up. So that's Oceanum. That is kind of the end of the usefulness of stuff on Pluto, aside from the boss. Let's see here. Next, we have Earth. And on Earth, we have Tikal. This is another one for those of you that are more in the early game stages, but it's like slightly above. Excavation is a really fun like game type. I would personally consider it more fun than survival. I like the way it works a lot more. You get the bonus experience because it's a dark sector. There are lots of like, you get neurodes here. There are a lot of like weird bonuses to farming stuff here. And I would say that if you like excavation and you're still early, this would be the place to go. Now, for those of you that are much more experienced, you probably already know about this next area I'm going to be talking about and are wondering why it was not at the top. It's because this is the slightly higher level excavation, and that is on Neptune, and we have Triton. So, Triton is the go-to place for rare 5 fusion cores, packs of 5 of them to be exact. So, the reason for that is because the rewards table for Triton specifically has a ton of fusion cores in it. It also has a lot of multi-shot mods and a lot of other rares that you would probably want to get, not so much steady hands. I get a lot of those from this mission. But packs of 5 rare fusion cores are very common here. You could go for like, let's say you get 2,000 cryotic and then bank out. You're usually banking out with like, let's say 30 to 40 cores. That's maybe a high estimate, but this is just generally the place people are coming to get packs of rare 5 fusion cores, and that is what you want if you're planning on leveling any prime mods generally. A ton of prime fusion cores, or not prime fusion cores, that'd be great. That'd be real good. Those are legendaries. A bunch of rare fusion cores, just to toss them all in and then be done. That's just generally what people use this location for. And having rare 5 fusion cores just on hand to level up any random old mod is also great. So that is kind of the end of the stuff on these like Starchart at large. Besides like specific mod farming that I'll probably make another video for what the most important mods are. But in lieu of that, a more general farming zone for the derelicts. So, corrupted mods come from the derelicts you need a party for with the dragon keys. And there are 2 different areas that people generally form a party for and run these missions, and there's actually different reasons for doing each one. So, if you're inviting a bunch of random people that you're not sure if they're reliable, but they can hold a key, generally you're going to want to do ODE, Heroic and Derelict Extermination. Because There's a set number of enemies. You know that you can kill these enemies, and these other people are basically just carrying the key for you for when you find the door. And you don't have to like rely on them to not die, because you can kill the enemies yourself and res them if need be. Now that's the safe sort of cynical view on why you would do ODE. It's very safe. It's a pretty much guaranteed completion when you bring all the people there with the correct keys. You have plenty of time to spread out and find the door. Whenever you're first starting out farming corrupted stuff, I would suggest this in a way of practice of kind of knowing where the doors can hide from you. And learning like what the different symbols are, what keys you need, what the keys look like, all that kind of stuff. This is like the beginner area for farming corrupted mods. Now, the more advanced side of this is Orokin Derelict capture. Generally, you're going to want to do this with a party that you at least trust a little bit, and this is the very, very fast way to do this once you are experienced and are in a hurry, I suppose. Just don't want to spend like hours and hours and hours trying to like get like a bunch of randoms together and clear all these exterminates, because instead of having to worry about like 100+ enemies that you need to murder, you just kill and capture the one guy, and then you find the vault, get the item, get the fuck out. It's the way faster version, but you need to know that your team is more competent in order to do it that way. And that is just generally what you would go to the Orokin Derelict captures for. I will probably do a slightly more specific video on corrupted mods soon, but that is the reason for running one thing or the other. So that is, those are the popular locations that are just run a lot, that I have like seen popularized. Like in recruiting, you see a lot of Draco, you see a lot of this mission, that mission, and the reasons for why the people are going to these missions, and to let those of you that are newer and don't know the popular locations kind of know where the larger concentrations of people are, because there's a lot of dead zone in this current map that we have, and until Starchart 3.0, that won't really be worked out. So, for the time being, those are the popular missions and the reasons to run them. And have fun. And I'll see you tomorrow.